Warning: the following framework will permanently dismantle your perception of progress. By continuing, you accept full responsibility for becoming immune to the illusion of busyness and embracing the brutal reality of achievement. Let me ask you something. Why are you constantly exhausted yet nowhere closer to your goals? You're putting in the hours, checking off tasks, staying busy, but the needle isn't moving. You see other men achieving more with what appears to be less effort, while you're grinding yourself into the ground with nothing to show for it. Here's the brutal truth you've been avoiding. You're confusing activity with achievement. What you're experiencing isn't a time management problem. It's actually a fundamental misunderstanding on how value is created in the modern world. I call this the productivity paradox, a state where your effort multiply while your results stagnate. It's very simple. You're not just working hard, you're actively reinforcing a system that keeps you trapped in a cycle of high effort and low return. You feel stuck, technically. A revealing analysis published in Frontiers in Psychology examined multitasking behaviors in high demand environments and found something critical. What we perceive as multitasking is actually rapid task switching, a process that incurs significant cognitive cost. The research shows that the human brain operates like a single core processor, unable to truly perform tasks simultaneously, but instead rapidly switching between them. This constant switching creates what professional neuroscience workers call attention residue. Thoughts regarding some past activity lingering and disrupting a present one, with even slight disruptions having disproportionately significant negative effects on cognitive performance. The most staggering finding: task switching might cost up to 40% of a person's productivity time due to the cognitive load of moving between tasks. This wasn't just about working smarter, it was about a fundamentally different approach to where effort should be applied to get the results we want to achieve. Here's what's happening biologically in your brain. Your brain contains specialized neural circuits called effort reward pathways that govern your motivation. Every time you complete a task, you receive a microdose of dopamine, creating a sense of accomplishment regardless of the task's actual importance. Your brain, being the efficient survival machine it is, begins to seek the easiest path to this dopamine reward, completing low value tasks that provide the same neurochemical payoff as high value work. Research from Brown University shows that striatal dopamine increases cognitive effort by amplifying and attenuating the subjective benefits and costs, respectively, of cognitive control. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long term planning and strategic thinking, remains basically underutilized because you're constantly caught in a reactive cycle of urgent but unimportant tasks. You're literally training your brain to prioritize busyness over effectiveness. The solution is not better time management. Probably you have that. That's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. What you need is actually what I call the effort reallocation, a systematic process for rewiring your relationship with the work. First, you must conduct what I call an effort audit, brutally honest on yourself assessment of where your time and energy is actually going versus where they should actually go to get results. Second, implement what I call strategic neglect, deliberatively identifying and abandoning low value activities, regardless of how comfortable or how useful you think they are for high value activities, or regardless how familiar they feel. Third, redesign your environment to make high leverage activities the path of least resistance. For example, if you need to focus on deep work, create what I call a distraction fortress, a specific time and place where all low value activities are physically impossible to perform. Complement this with leverage tracking. It's very simple. Just measure your results rather than your hours, creating a feedback loop that rewards effectiveness rather than the effort you're trying to do. This isn't just about being more productive, it's about reclaiming your evolutionary advance, the best usage of your time. Your ancestors actually survived and thrived not by being busy, but being strategic, conserving their energy for high impact activities such as hunting and defending their tribe. The same biological efficiency exists within you right now, but is being hijacked by a culture that rewards visible effort over invisible effectiveness. In our modern world, in our modern economy, where AI can handle routine tasks, the only sustainable advantage is strategic thinking, the very capacity you're eroding every time you choose business over leverage. Every hour you spend on these low value activities isn't just you wasting your time, it's active participation in your own obsolescence, because you are not actually doing any advance. Now I need you to take immediate action. First, comment below with one low value activity you abandoned this week to compromise to me and you yourself. Make it specific and non-negotiable. The second one, implement the effort audit, which I just mentioned before. Starting today, track where your time actually goes versus where you think it goes. Third, share this with someone trapped in the productivity paradox. Remember, the true leverage isn't just optimizing yourself, isn't also elevating others by sharing what works with you. In our next video, you will learn social value equation, how to calculate and increase your worth in any social professional setting regardless of your current status. The world doesn't need more men who are busy, it needs men who are effective. Which will you choose to be starting today? It's your decision, and you should take a decision right now. It's important to understand sometimes we do lose some time in these activities that we feel like they're doing something. Let's say an example, you're a business owner and you spend a lot of time by putting detail into the website, or put a lot of time into what kind of text are you gonna put into the website, what kind of logos are you gonna make, instead of focusing on where the actual money is gonna come. In this case, going to be sales, marketing, and probably branding. Right now in this current world, you should be posting on social media, you should be doing creatives, advertising to get your clients moving through, instead of just focusing on the website. Because technically we know we have to do something, we know we have in mind the task of getting the business ready, we have the task in mind to grow the business, but our brain takes the easy path. The easy path is going to be these activities that are so simple, such as the website thing, the website example I just gave it to you. And then the other tasks, which are actually the very, very valuable, the one that are going to bring money into your pocket, into your employee's pocket, into your associate's pocket, is not happening. There is not sales being done, there is no marketing, no advertising being done, then there is no money coming in. Right? I remember one of the books I learned from Brian Tracy. He was mentioning that most of the people, when he went to the office, used to spend their time checking the news on the newspaper at that time, on like actual paper, and also drinking coffee. And then once it was time for lunch, they would say, "Oh, I think now is a good time for to go to visit my clients." And then they will think, "No, they're probably eating, maybe later." And then after 9 hours of work that they were supposed to be doing sales and getting money in, because salespeople normally earn only commission and a little salary, but most of the money comes from commissions. from the sales you actually do, and they were focusing on going to the work, but they were avoiding the actual tasks that bring the money in, which is going, talking to the clients, trying to get the deals done, negotiating with the clients, getting the offer, getting the clients know they have something they will benefit from. And then so at the end of the day, they end up having only like 2 hours of actual work, which was actually on late hours, and the family doesn't even want to talk to them. So they were like, Brian says, he used to say that these are things that you should divide into A, B, C, which is A activity have to be done primarily because that's what brings you money. That's the immediate and urgent activities. So you should separate your activities by urgency and by importance. Is it important? Yes. Is it urgent? Yes. So you must do it right now, especially the tasks that bring you money in. And then you have the B, which is things that are important, but probably they are not urgent. So they could be done later, but they have to be done. And the C, which probably they are not important, not urgent, but sometimes they are the ones you end up doing, like talking to the colleagues because they have the greatest news in sales and you're going to learn from them, and they're going to give you some tips and they're going to tell you about their clients so you can use their experience in your own sales. Now the only experience you're going to get is actually going to the wall and doing the sales yourself. And then if you want to put like a B, Z, D, E, if you want to put an E, the E would be drinking coffee, reading the newspaper, which are things that are no important, no urgent, and they should definitely be postponed until you have done the D activities, and that's how you go, right? So when you finish A activities, you go to B activities. When you finish B activities, you go to C activities. After C activities, you go to D activities. After D activities, you go to E activities, right? So this is how it should be. Remember to prioritize the things that bring you money in and actually be conscious. You probably have an internal task management that tells you, okay, today I have to study, I have to work, and I have to be with my family. So those are the important things. But when you actually go and see, you end up doing everything except the most important things, right? Because when you study, you end up not reading the material you should read. Like, let's say, for example, if you learn something new, you spend all the time in definitions and that kind of stuff. And then when you have no more time, you say, oh, I'm actually, right now, I'm going to learn about the material that's going to teach me the new ability. And then when you go to work, you end up doing anything except doing the sales, doing the marketing, or doing your programming if you're a programmer, or doing your design. And except of that, you end up drinking coffee, talking with your colleagues, getting the news about the best new techniques on the market. Oh no. And then when you go to the family, instead of you spending good time with your family, you end up discussing with them, fighting verbally, or simply you get busy with other things, like you spend time together physically but not actually sharing with them. So you're actually, okay, you are studying, you are working, and you are spending time with your family, but you are not actually doing the important tasks inside of those fields. So keep that in focus and see you on the next video.